The way I would put this is that the women's movement to date has focused far more on women than on care. So focusing on care policies really is a huge part of getting to gender equality, but in gender neutral terms. In 1971, Richard Nixon was presented with a bill that had passed both houses of Congress with bipartisan majorities, establishing a system of universal child care in the United States, something that's unimaginable today. What happened was it got caught up in the culture wars, in the moral majority and the Christian right saying this was an effort to take women out of the home, to deprive them or deny them their God-given role as mothers. And we've been fighting those wars ever since, and we've been falling further and further behind the rest of the world. Deep question now is, if we're really aiming at gender equality, and women are increasingly in power, why haven't we said that actually traditional women's work is just as important as traditional men's work? Work in just human terms, like the work that is necessary to make our society survive and thrive. There's two very broad buckets. There's the work of breadwinning, earning any kind of income, at least past a barter economy, and then there's the work of caregiving. And both are equally necessary for society to reproduce, to educate our young, to care for our old, to take care of the vulnerable and the sick. But we value breadwinning so much more than we value caregiving. Right? We focused on advancing women, and really what we've meant is allowing women to be men. But when we think about gender equality, we tend to think how many women are in the Fortune 500. And we think about how do we remove the barriers for women to get to the top. When you focus on care, you are still actually focusing overwhelmingly on women, but actually you're focusing on those policies that will help the women at the bottom, much more than the women at the top. Caregiving is the entire spectrum of raising a child, or again, caring for a parent. It's the joy of raising a family, and men have been shut out of that. But many men say, well, I have work and I support my family, but I see my family very little. I would like to be much more involved in my family's lives. And the most obvious way is a man and a woman have a baby. And yes, the woman carries the baby and delivers the baby. She can get 6 weeks up to 3 months maternity leave. In the United States, she gets up to a year in other countries. Men get nothing. One of the important things we have to do in this realm is to think through those practices that remove discrimination against women, things like just equal pay, let's start with. Then there's a whole bucket of policies that are really around supporting caregiving that in theory should be gender neutral because they should support all human beings who give care. That's still wildly disproportionately 80 or 90% women.